Welcome! You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown, celebrating the class of 2020 by bringing Hollywood home on a budget. This graduating class will have been recognized for taking more crap this year than their peers of yesteryear. But you know what? I gotta commend each and every one of you for uniting together, get apart like a true family, much like the Sopranos, and handling it with such grace. Like grace. And depending on what social media platform you plan to post your graduation dances on, primarily Snapchat or TikTok, with such sass. Again, much like grace. I'm not the type of person, for the record, that just says congrats or congratulations directly and up front, except on rare and monumental occasions. As the nostalgia critic often says in his top 11 lists, I like to go one step beyond. And in that spirit, I'm pairing together two of New Jersey's finest pop culture phenomenons, The Sopranos and Grace Helbig, a little bit of North Jersey, a little bit of South Jersey, to help the class of 2020 gain the upper hand in adding a pop of pomp to their bittersweet circumstances. And maybe after this you can call yourselves the upper class of 2020. First up, entertaining with The Sopranos. As compiled by, and I apologize for the cell phone going off, the matriarch of HBO's flagship family drama, Carmela Soprano, is actually written by Alan Rucker in the dialogue and ton of several Sopranos characters, family, friends, and relatives of the Sopranos, who offer their own insightful commentaries and helpful party suggestions of what to bring, what to wear, what kind of music to put on, so on and so forth, for your next festive family festa. Recipes are by Marcel Ciclione. It's based upon the series created by David Chase and was purchased for $6.99 and for 50% off. This is the third Sopranos book I own, behind Sopranos Behind the Scenes book and the Sopranos Family Cookbook. The Sopranos of Family History, rather, was the first one that I bought. It's published by Warner Books, and on we go. It is one of two cookbooks that I own that feature a graduation menu directly. So here we go, chapter 2, graduation parties, and that's actually Meadow Soprano right there. There are few events as momentous in a young person's life as high school graduation or college graduation. Especially if you come from a family like ours, where college was not traditionally an option. The glory of graduation is certainly an event to celebrate with loved ones, virtual or in person, and that's what we're gonna do today. Throughout this book, you'll also see plenty of never-before-seen photographs from the show. Some, I think, were designed just for this book alone. Here's one of several rules on holding a party: the giving of money to a college or high school graduate, by Christopher Moltisanti. Always give cash, no checks. Choose the right amount, and other tips. The Fear of Hostessing, by Dr. Jennifer Melfi, as an answer to Carmela Soprano on her fear, or several fears of others, of hosting their own in-person graduation festas. Meadow Soprano herself, the graduate honoree here, offers her tips on gifts and party favors, especially for somebody her age. And there she is with Mr. Tony Soprano, aka the late, great James Gandolfini. Anyway, on to the food, because that's what I care about the most around here. Yes, the intimate setting of the party, or the camaraderie of everybody getting together for an event such as this, that is such a magical experience for a high school or college graduate, but right now, it's just not the time. Let's just focus on the food. It's not a time for a large family gathering right now. Maybe when everything settles down and this lingering virus finally takes a freaking hike, we can hold these large masses. But for now, let's go on to the food. And they serve a good amount of people, by the way, the recipes in this chapter. Little chicken meatballs. And yes, there are plenty of finished recipe photographs in here. You have your standard mother recipe for tomato sauce, something that every Italian-American cook with his or her sauce should know how to create. and recreate and make over and over again from scratch. Something that everybody should know how to cook. We have a recipe for eggplant fritters, stromboli bread, red, white, and green salad, which serves 8 to 10, an antipasto platter, which serves 8 to 12, a standard for any Italian-American gathering, any bass, soprano styles or sopranos style. And finally, for dessert, we have an almond roll with strawberry sauce, which serves 10 to 12. I'm not really big on almonds. I'm much a chocolate cake person myself. But hey, that's just one complaint, and the only complaint I have for a book like this. It's jam-packed with recipes. It's jam-packed with several anecdotes on soprano size and soprano style fits of any kind from family, friends, and relatives of HBO's most beloved dramatic family. And if you're not into a graduation party at this particular time, hopefully you're at least into the recipes. But we do have several other party ideas and menus that accordingly fit to each chapter. Welcome to the family, baptisms, communions, and confirmations. Fit for a bride, showers and receptions. Come to my home, open houses and family reunions. Deliver 12, holidays, small events for women and men only, adult birthday parties, and the final celebration. Inevitably, when one beloved family member kicks the bucket. And afterward follows all these chapters, and an introduction precedes them. Both are by Carmela Soprano. There's an index of recipes on page 200 if you're just looking to make one of the recipes without planning any of these parties. From the blockbuster HBO series comes the ultimate guide to entertaining for every occasion. As time inevitably goes by and my family grows up and scatters with the wind, I come to appreciate and love family gatherings even more. I feel a special tug in my heart for all those occasions, from wedding receptions to Grandpa's 70th birthday party, where only the real task is to enjoy each other's company. This book is dedicated to those moments. From Carmela de Angelis Soprano's introduction. I would certainly monitor over this book every single day if I could, even if I'm not the partying type. But let us now take a trip southbound from North Jersey all the way to South Jersey for Grace's Guide. The art of pretending to be a grown-up. From Touchstone Books, this was purchased for $5.99 and for 25% off. I particularly like the cover here because it's kind of a false cover. You open it up, you expect that this picture spread right here is tied into the cover, but no. It's more or less like a open book flap, if you like a dust jacket flap. You open that flap up, and it features praise from some of Grace's peers and 2 trade publications. Maureen Johnson, author of 13 Little Blue Envelopes, one of Grace's besties, Hannah Hart, author of My Drunk Kitchen, the companion cookbook, quote-unquote, to her YouTube channel of the same name. I own that book, I reviewed that book, and I will leave a link for that in the description below. Hannah's sister and Grace's other bestie, Mamrie Hart, host of My Drunk Kitchen's companion, You Deserve a Drink, on YouTube. One of Grace's peers, Tyler Oakley, who will next step into the firing line here at TSR with his book, Bins. Plus Andy Cohen, author of most talkative, Search Stain on the state of New Jersey. Why? So many Real Housewives shows. One of them takes place right here in the Garden State. But regardless, I own his book. I also have a video for that, and I'll link that in the description. Plus, the praise of LA Weekly and Variety should give you serious pause in considering Grace's Guide and determining whether or not it's worth it. And it very well might be. We have 2 segments for this book on how it came to be. First up is Grace herself with her editor Lauren Spiegel at Touchstone Books on the process of assembling this book. And then Grace joins Aaron Robinson and Misty Kingma of the Daily Hollywood Rundown and Clever News as she herself gives more explanation about the inspiration for this book. So Grace and Lauren, you're first. Take it away.
Hello, my name is Grace Helbig. I am the author of Grace's Guide, The Art of Pretending to be a Grown-Up. Also, my dog is here. Get out of there.
Hi, I'm Lauren Spiegel, Grace Helbig's editor at Touchstone Books. Sorry, I feel like I'm gonna burp. Grace Helbig is a trailblazer of a new form of comedy on YouTube. She has almost 2 million subscribers, and her fans really love her because she's herself, she's funny, and they look to her for advice. She's known as the internet's awkward older sister. I'm so proud to have helped bring Grace's Guide. I had seen some of Grace Helbig's videos online before, and when the proposal crossed my desk, I was so excited because her voice really translated to the page so well. It was really important to me to make sure that Grace's Guide was just as dynamic and fun as her videos itself. I'm so proud to have... The book is full color, illustrated. It has tons of photos, I think about 250 original photos of Grace that she took just for this book. When we got the photos, Grace let me pick them for the book, which is completely unprecedented. Whenever I've worked with a celebrity or high-profile author, if it was my book, I wouldn't let the editor pick the photos. But that's how much she trusted me, and I really appreciated that, especially because we were working on such a crazy schedule. Blooper reel, Grace's Guide. Grace wrote the book herself in 6 weeks, which you have to understand from the book publishing world is basically at the speed of light. She would turn in a chapter and I would edit it late into the night, but it was so fun because she's so funny. And I was really impressed by her because she took a lot of her fans' questions that she would get and she used them to form the spine of what became the book. There's so much that you get to learn about Grace from the book, what it was like for her growing up, what it was like for her in college and after college, her struggles with anxiety, finding her way to her profession now. In the introduction, Grace talks about how when she was a teenager, she used to go on the internet to try to find the answers to questions that she was too embarrassed or afraid to ask her friends or relatives. The internet wasn't always the best guide, and this is the book that she wishes that she had when she was a kid.
Grace.
Yeah.
You have a best-selling book out. It's right here, Grace's Guide, The Art of Pretending to be a Grown-Up.
Did you really write this?
I did. I wrote it from my brain with my hands in 6 weeks. I had promised the publishing house I was working with that I could get it done very quickly, on top of, at the time, doing 5 videos a week and doing a UK comedy tour.
Easy.
Yeah, real easy. So just a few mental breakdowns went into creating this piece.
All right, let's talk about why somebody should buy Grace's Guide.
I think they should buy it if they are feeling like they're having a weird transitional time in their life. I think I wrote this specifically because I got really obsessed with self-help books after I graduated college. I read Eat, Pray, Love, not really a self-help book, but I got really inspired. I need to find myself.
Yeah.
I need to find pizza and spirituality and myself, and then we're set.
Good, but...
Yeah, I read all these self-help books and they seemed like very generic. They seemed like they were kind of repackaging the same information that no one was saying, like, we don't really know, but maybe
no one was being real about it.
Yeah, so I wanted to write something that that just expressed, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I've learned some things about some things, and here they are.
My favorite tip was don't get pregnant on a first date.
Yeah.
That's
Great
a good
tip.
one. Yeah.
Things to know.
I'm going to feature 2 chapters from this book, which I find fitting for this occasion. Tips for surviving school and the office. School can be depressing when you realize it's where you spent most of your youth. Same thing for time spent in the office, which will likely stretch to include most of your adult life. Ugh. Unless you like your job, then great job, literally. I went to high school. I even went to college, hard to believe. I know. I currently make a living talking to myself to a camera. And talking by myself to a camera, at least that's what I do as well. While putting condiments on my face and emoting about Miley Cyrus's crotch. I'm using my degree to the fullest. For the record, C is an alumni of Ramapo College in Marwa. I should have enrolled there. Then I could say I am the alumni of Grace Helbig's alma mater. But it was not on the list for instant acceptance day at International High School. Or instant decision day, rather. No, I am Bloomfield bound. Hopefully, this September. Bloomfield bound, and guess what else? I am Bloomfield bound, a small liberal arts college in New Jersey, kind of like Ramapo College. And unlike Grace, or like Grace, I don't know, she may not be telling, I am Bloomfield bound on a $10,000 trustees scholarship, renewable annually for up to 8 semesters. Thank you very much. Anyway, Grace herself gives tips on surviving school, high school, or college, as well as surviving outside of your academic institution of your choice. They read like a lot of lists here. So for school, don't go after the hottest person when you're dating. Get at least 80% of your homework done the night before. Lump yourself with like-minded people. Try to get your housing figured out early. I need to do that too. The acceptance letter says that I am a resident student, but I chose to be a commuter student instead. Who else is gonna take care of my Food Network magazine subscription? Experiment sexually, but don't be the teacher's pet. I don't want an Arya Ezra situation like on Pretty Little Liars. That doesn't fare well in real life. Hello? Ask the criminals who have been in prison for such acts like that. Anyway, there are a lot of photos in this book, and you won't find one page in here that doesn't have one. Plus, you'll also find Grace's mother's words of wisdom, which carry a lot more, shall you say, conviction, 100% conviction, rather than Grace herself. That's not to take anything away from Grace. Moms know best, but Grace hits the perfect balance of practicality, inspiration, and absolute comedic brilliance. Spot on. And here we have 25 tips to manage your anxiety, because like me, you might be anxious about attending college and graduating high school, or even moving up to high school like I did once. We had a moving up ceremony at school number 2 and I quote-unquote graduated the 7th grade. No, the 8th grade, really. High school is a 4-year experience unless you're in special education like me. Here are Mom's words of wisdom. Do your best, that's all you can do. It may not be the best, but it's your best and that's all that matters. This definitely hits home, and it's certainly a lot more borderline poignant than the other chapters in here. And there are plenty of life tips throughout this book that deal with all facets of living your best life. Your best life, not anyone else's, yours. So if you are feeling anxious, Grace suggests to see a doctor. Remove yourself from a stressful situation. Breathe. Think about someone getting hit in the face with bread. There's Grace's spot-on comedic timing right there. Exercise. And that won't be difficult if you're doing it at home. Gyms remain closed here in New Jersey. I don't know about where you live. And I know about that South Jersey gym that was shut down by a judge because of Governor Murphy's orders. You think I don't know that? Anyway, there's Grace with Hannah Hart, her bestie and host of My Drunk Kitchen. For a bonus chapter here, bonus in this pink section right here. Bonus in this pink sidebar, for those experiencing a panic attack, here are some emergency brief reliefs. Remember, unlike that movie Casino Royale, it won't last forever. How do you think cavemen reacted the first time they got bonus? Whatever terribleness you're experiencing right now, there's presumably someone else in the world who has explosive diarrhea and is locked out of her house.
Duh. Winning.
And if nothing else, if you can't manage your anxiety with any of these tips, well, here's the best tip for you. Reread this book. And with signature Grace Helbig humor and heart going on here, that won't be difficult to do at all. So, what facets of your everyday life that she covered in here? Your professional life, your social life, your love life, and your lifestyle. From digital dating tips to how to survive a breakup, from how to get over a hangover to how to cook like a kid for adults, very reminiscent of My Drunk Kitchen. And if you have not checked out my review for that, click the link in the description below. From how to throw an adult party to how to hang out by yourself, and everything else that comes with living your best Oprah-style life, or Grace Helbig-style life, or any YouTuber-style life. But really, bull's not to that. Just live your life. Grace's Guide, helps you do just that. Now let's take a look at the back here. One of the sharpest, funniest voices on YouTube, says Forbes, comedian Grace Helbig offers an irreverent and illustrated guide to life for anyone faced with the challenge of growing up. Simply put, this is a gold medal adulting handbook. Charmingly illustrated, Grace's guide features full-color photos, interactive worksheets, and exclusive stories from Grace's own misadventures, including her disastrous interview for NBC's Page program, which is why I'm so very glad The Sopranos is an HBO drama, not on NBC. Her lifelong struggles with anxiety, the first and also last time she entered a beauty pageant, meeting her first boyfriend at a high school Latin convention, and many other hilarious lessons she learned the hard way. Amusing and unexpectedly educational, this refreshing and colorful guide proves that becoming an adult doesn't necessarily mean you have to grow up. Finally, throughout this book, you'll find helpful and absolutely off-the-wall acronyms that summarize each chapter and what you can take away from what Grace is teaching you here. This book retails $17.99 US and $21.99 in Canada, and it actually is her second appearance on my channel, although this is her first book and her first #1 New York Times bestseller at that. Conversely, in a very serendipitous, ironic manner, which I believe is just a masterclass in serendipitous irony, her second book, Grace in Style, also New York Times bestseller, was her first appearance on my channel. It was a milestone video, and I will certainly link that in the description below, because I purchased that retail from the Passaic County Community College bookstore. Again, masterclass serendipitous irony, but I think I can handle that. Oh, and to close out Grace's guide, a special debt of gratitude to Grace for acknowledging her audience, for fucking wooing it. You woo it! Thanks for doing life with me. I apologize for the swearing in this video. I do apologize for the profanity, but I am just quoting Grace here. See? My audience for fucking wooing it. Thank you to my audience for fucking wooing it. And Grace's brother Tim contributes the foreword to this book. And all told, that is a definite keeper on my bookshelf. They both are. Both of these books have earned 5 out of 5 claps, for a total of 10 out of 10. They're both top drawer material. I hate to use this certain adjective because I feel that it is horribly overused, especially in the millennial community, who will pull out this certain adjective every time they have their interest piqued by anything that in a beneficial manner for 15 seconds. But you know what? I gotta give it up to both of these books. They're both like lemon pie with whipped cream on top. In one word, both of these books are
amazing. Amazing.
And I can't think of a better class of 2020 send-off the TSR way. So, to the class of 2020, remember to feel prominent. Remember to feel like you've earned a place in this world, because you most certainly have. And it is your oyster. So, keep your head held up high and walk around a little taller. Unless you're Grace Helbig, then you're walking around a lot taller. And remember that the sky is truly the limit. Job incredibly well done. And in closing, to those who would dare criticize the pairing of The Sopranos and Grace Helbig, two pop culture institutions that both gave and continue to give New Jersey a fair amount of prominence on the small screen, well, you are right, it is kind of a weird pairing, but that's what I'm known for on TSR. Taking two completely opposite things on two completely different sides of the spectrum and pairing them together to share a common bond and a common theme for special occasion videos like this. And at the end of the day, there's only one boss on this channel, and that's me! The KHIC. The knucklehead in charge. And whatever pairing of pop culture institutions I see fit for special occasion videos like this, that's the pairing that goes. And for those who would like to criticize it, well, in the words of former Eastside High School principal Joe Clark,
Get out!
No, I meant Joe Clark. Thank you. Sorry about that. It's the PLO residue left in me. If you don't know me, I'm a huge Pretty Little Liars fan, and although much has changed throughout this year, that will never change. I'll be taking my love for PLL, my obsession with it, all the way to my Bloomfield college years as a BC Bear, worrying about Rosewood and Bloomfield. Thank you for joining me. Congrats to the class of 2020. And I'll catch you on greener pastures someday, hopefully. But if not, I'll always catch you on the Thrift side. Never again will you say, I don't know, to subscribing to this channel, I hope, after seeing something like this.